Look at a construction site or a factory floor. The people performing the most grueling physical labor, those pulling 12-hour shifts, are almost always the ones at the bottom of the pay scale. Most of us were raised with the advice to keep our heads down and work harder. Yet, despite following that instruction, you likely find yourself exhausted and still checking your bank account with a sense of dread. This happens because of a deep-seated cultural conditioning. We have been trained to view our own level of exhaustion as a metric for our personal value. You see it whenever someone proudly mentions how busy they are. In this mindset, burning out is treated as a status symbol, proof that you are doing what society considers right. Trading every available hour for a paycheck is an arrangement with a fixed ceiling. It keeps you focused on the effort of the task rather than the value of the result. This chart maps the reality of that trade. When you sell labor, you are capped by two immutable biological boundaries: the limit of your physical energy and the fact that there are only 24 hours in a day. The people at the top of the economic ladder operate on a different set of principles. They don't look for tasks they can perform, they look for assets they can own. As long as your income requires your physical presence, you are limited by the speed of your own hands. Your earning potential stops the moment you need to rest. To change this, we look to the strategy of Niccolò Machiavelli. He recognized that power doesn't belong to the people working the hardest, but to the architects who design the systems that keep things moving. Jeff Bezos didn't build a fortune by taping boxes in a warehouse. He focused on building a scalable architecture that coordinates millions of moving parts without his direct intervention. The primary hurdle to this is the solopreneur ego. It is the fear that if you don't do everything yourself, it won't be done right. It is a need for control that keeps your operations small. The defining goal of any business is to reach a state where it can run without its creator. If it requires you to be there every day, you haven't built a business, you have created a job where you happen to be the boss. By refusing to let go of the small tasks, you become the primary bottleneck in your own operation. Scaling requires leverage. The act is separating your time from your income. It is the transition from being the person laying the bricks to the person designing the blueprint. Hiring a video editor or an assistant is the act of purchasing your own time. You pay for their skills to reclaim the hours you would have spent on repetitive tasks. When you reinvest those reclaimed hours into building more systems, your capacity grows. You are no longer limited by what you can do, but by what you can coordinate. In the digital economy, this is digital real estate. These assets generate value without your physical labor. Once built, they operate regardless of your mood or biological needs, remaining active while you are elsewhere. Utilizing algorithms that run 24/7 allows you to step away from the traditional labor model. This transition feels difficult because it challenges your core identity. If you have spent years priding yourself on being the hardest worker in the room, letting go of those tasks feels like losing yourself. Moving forward requires the death of the ego that means to suffer to feel valuable. The reward is waking up to realize your systems generated more income overnight than you used to earn in a month of manual labor. It proves that your past struggles weren't a result of laziness. You are simply applying your effort to a model designed to consume your time rather than multiply it. From now on, remember this rule. Hard work is the baseline, but leverage is the multiplier. Look at your routine. Find one task this week that you can delegate or automate and declare it in the comments. If you are ready to start building systems rather than just performing tasks, subscribe and join us.